Good morning, everyone. I'm Charly Edsitty, and welcome to First at 4 on this Friday. Meteorologist Elita Loresca here with our first look at the forecast. Hey.
Good morning, Charly.
Good morning.
Great to have you here on a Friday. Starting off this Friday morning, nice and cool. It is crisp out there. A live look outside, and we've got temperature readings in the low 60s. Great visibility this morning. Not a cloud in the sky, and that's what the pattern has been over the last couple of days. I mean, it's been so nice in the morning. Unfortunately, it's been the afternoons where, yeah, it's been a hot one for sure. Temperatures are running a little bit cooler this morning, especially west of I-45, where we've got about a 3 to 5 degree cooling pattern. Temperature readings there in the upper 50s, low to mid 60s. 63 degrees this morning in Pearland, Pasadena. You're at 64 degrees. And when you take a look at the humidity, the amount of moisture in the atmosphere, the dew point temperatures help us track that. You can see that we've got dew point temperatures in the 40s and 50s. And when you look at that on our legend, it is dry, it is refreshing, and that's how we're going to stay over the next couple of mornings. We are slowly going to start to see some changes Sunday into Monday as the moisture levels start to increase. Those numbers start to increase closer to the 60s. So that stickiness factor, the mugginess factor is going to be going up, at least for the second half of the weekend. Today, though, we stay nice and dry, comfortable in the morning. By the afternoon, we're warming into the low 90s. We'll talk more in detail about that increase in humidity over the weekend, Charly, and also we've got rain back in the forecast for the 10-day. I'll time it out for you coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, Elita, we'll take it. Thank you for that. This morning, we continue following that deadly and toxic chemical leak in Deer Park. Okay, Lisa, thank you for that. And happening today, the Houston Dynamo is hosting a fan fuel-up rally to kick in. Will be the 120th matchup between the Texas Longhorns and the Oklahoma Sooners. The Longhorn fans are sending the team off in style. Still to come this morning at 4, DACA recipients stuck in limbo about their future in the U.S. The arguments presented to judges and what happens next. Welcome back. It is 4:09 on your Friday morning. DACA recipients are nervously waiting for the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals to decide their fate in the United States. And this morning, Milton's death toll is continuing to rise as millions are still without power. The new video of the destruction, And welcome back. The death toll is rising from Hurricane Milton. At least 15 now confirmed dead across multiple counties here in Florida after the storm slammed right into the west coast of the state as a Category 3 hurricane. Now, rescue efforts are still underway right now, and millions of people still remain without power. ABC's Rena Roy is in St. Petersburg. Let's change things up here. A strong geomagnetic storm is hitting Earth and is making it possible to see the northern lights. Loresca joining me right now. We have the pink glow going on this morning.
Yes. This is the month where we all love to wear pink, of course, in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, right?
Important.
All right, weather-wise for today, listen, we have not seen much in the way of rain, and unfortunately, that means drought across our area. We talked about how the drought has been spreading, expanding. This was last week's drought monitor, and we saw that the drought had spread from north of I-10 down toward the coastline. As of yesterday, and we get these updates every Thursday morning, you can see the expansion of drought now has covered majority of our coastal communities, the east end of Galveston County and portions of the coastal communities of Jefferson and Chambers County still not in drought, but we will soon start to see those folks as well pretty much covered. And we're also now starting to see the transition from abnormally dry to moderate drought for our friends out toward the east around Liberty, inland areas of Jefferson County, and then also now starting to see more of that drought out toward the hill country. Unfortunately, with the dry conditions, we're also dealing with the potential for some higher fire danger, a lot of dry brush. So now we're starting to see more counties under burn bans. So you can see the number of counties now included: Fort Bend, Harris County. We talked about those areas yesterday. You're being asked not to burn. No issues right now in Brazoria and Galveston County, but even Matagorda County under that burn ban. And when you take a look at the rest of the state, I mean, half the counties across Texas under a burn ban. We've got 130 counties now. And when you look at the potential rain, not much to speak of. We've got the majority of that rain really confined to our coastal communities, or rather offshore, and also out toward the west. From San Antonio to Corpus Christi, they've got a little bit of rain back in the forecast. You can see those rain shower chances will be climbing as we get into late next week as we track two fronts next week. The first front is going to deliver some dry air. The second one late next week will eventually bring us a slight chance for some wet weather. So out the door this morning, we're starting off with nice dry conditions. We're at 63 degrees right now in Houston. Good morning to you. Great start to your Friday morning. 72 in Galveston. That breeze has definitely settled from where we were earlier in the week as that front had moved through. Those winds still out of the north, however, and that means still some cooler, drier conditions for us. In fact, we've got a little bit of cooling happening out the door, especially west of Interstate 45, where temperatures are running about 3 to 5 degrees cooler. So we're finding some 50s on the map, 60s elsewhere. This afternoon, the normal high now down to 85 degrees, and you'll notice over the next several days, not even coming close to that 85. In fact, we're going to be hovering into the low 90s, where by Monday, ahead of that front, we could be pushing some records, breaking some records. Right now, I think our record of 94 degrees looks to be safe, but we're going to be coming close, forecasting a high of 92, overnight lows just as comfortable as we are this morning. However, we are going to start to see a wind shift heading into Saturday afternoon and beyond, so we're slowly going to start to feel that uptick in humidity. And really, that's going to be our biggest change over the weekend, especially heading into Sunday and Monday, where the mornings aren't going to be quite as comfortable. So be prepared for that. Air quality, unfortunately, is going to deteriorate over the weekend today and into the weekend. Unhealthy for sensitive groups, although we're starting off this morning good to moderate. So we've got our next front coming in on Tuesday. That next front is going to bring in another humidity drop, another drop in temperatures. In fact, Wednesday, we're back down into the low 60s, upper 50s Thursday, Friday, with afternoon highs in the upper 70s to low 80s. So noticeably lower than where our temperatures have been over the past couple of days. But notice late next week, that's when that second front arrives, and that's going to have just enough moisture in place for a few showers as early as Friday and a few thunderstorms by next weekend, Charlie.
All right, Elita, looking forward to those 70-degree temperatures. Thank you for that. In honor of Hispanic and Latin American Heritage Month, ABC News is taking an in-depth look at the impact Latinos have in Hollywood with a new primetime special. ABC's George Pinocchio has a preview. Price is recalling more than 2 million baby swings. The details that you need to know that could save your babies. Fisher-Price is recalling more than 2 million baby swings due to a risk of suffocation. And Elon Musk just unveiled the newest type of driverless car, what he's calling a cybercab. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more. And we still have a lot more news, weather, and traffic coming up at 4:30. So let's check in with Samica and Rita for a look at what they're working on. Hey, friends.
Hey, good morning. And coming up at 4:30, it's been on the books for a while, but the city of Houston is suddenly enforcing a rule on people who speak at city council.
One group thinks that they caused the change. We're going to explain coming up, and we continue to follow. Welcome to it, everybody, on a Friday morning. It's great to see you dark and early. I'm Rita Garcia.
And I'm Samica Knight. Happy Friday. Meteorologist Elita Loresca joining us with a look at the forecast. Good morning to you.
Good morning, ladies. We're starting off the morning with some nice, cool, clear conditions. Refreshingly cool. 63 degrees right now. Full of cool fronts. One that does bring us a chance for some rain in the forecast. I'll have your 10-day coming up in just a few minutes.
Alita, thank you. We do continue to get back to that breaking news in Deer Park, a deadly chemical leak at the Pemex refinery.
Well, right now, we still don't know the full extent of the incident because authorities have yet to actually make it inside the building where that ABC 13. Good morning, everybody. I'm Samica Knight.
I guess I better do that for my husband. I'm not a UT alum, but I know there's a lot here in Houston, so good morning to you if you're just waking up. I'm Rita Garcia. It is 5:30. I think you're going to like what you feel out there as we check in with our meteorologist, Alita Loresca, this morning.
Yes, we're definitely going to be watching those temperatures for the weekend. We've got a lot of OU fans, I know, right here at the studio, at the station. Micah, I know you're waking up this morning. All right, as well, part of the forecast, but also two fronts to track next week. I'll time out the chances for rain. Also, when those cooler temperatures arrive, coming up in just a few minutes.
Alita, thank you. We can, given all the devastation, the videos we've seen, Alita, it's all about perspective, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Turning to our weather here, it's all about the drought. We have been talking about the drought over the past couple of weeks. Abnormally dry, moderate drought from last week. We just got an update yesterday, so there's a couple of areas where I want you to watch where it's changed. Along the coast, down toward Brazoria County, last week's drought did not include you. This week's drought now includes all of our coastal communities, and out toward Liberty and Beaumont, some of our far eastern counties, you've now transitioned from just abnormally dry to now moderate drought, and we're seeing the same setup out toward the hill country. So in the days to come, unfortunately, with the lack of rain still in the forecast, it does look like we're going to see drought continue to worsen across our region. And with the drought, the hot, the dry conditions, now you're being asked not to burn. These are the counties that are under burn bans. It does include Fort Bend and Harris County within the past week or so. And when you widen out this view to include all of Texas, we now have 130 counties under drought because we're now seeing the expansion of the hot and dry conditions, the lack of rain. And when you talk about the next 7 days, we're still not seeing a sign of significant rainfall. Right now, it looks like we may see a few showers out toward San Antonio, down toward Brownsville, as the moisture from the Gulf increases. But we do have a front, the second of two fronts, arriving late next week, and that may raise our rain chances to about 20 to 30%. Otherwise, the next 7 days, not much rain across the area. We're starting off mostly dry this morning. Temperature-wise, we're in the lower 60s. The winds are nice and calm. You'll notice that the breeze this morning is out of the north-northeast at about 5 miles per hour. We anticipate those winds to blow in between 10 to 15 and then slowly begin to shift out of the south, out of the Gulf as we get into the weekend. And that is going to change how it feels as soon as you step outside, especially during the morning hours on Sunday and into Monday. This morning, though, still a crisp and cool start to the morning where we've got temperature readings in the 50s and 60s. By this afternoon, that dry air warms up very quickly. We're headed back to highs in the low 90s, not too far off from the record, but our record does look to be safe today at IAH at Bush Airport. How about overnight? Overnight in the upper 50s, low to mid 60s, still very comfortable. But as those winds begin to shift by the afternoon, the humidity levels will start to increase. We'll still be comfortable for a Saturday afternoon, but as I mentioned, that may change Sunday into Monday. Air quality for today, unhealthy for sensitive groups today, tomorrow, and Sunday. So we do have pollution watches intact, and you can see that with our 10-day forecast. Record high challenged on Monday, forecasting a high of 95. Cold front, the first of two, moves in on Tuesday. Does not bring us rain, moves through dry, but it does send temperatures back down into the 50s overnight with afternoon highs in the upper 70s. It's that second front, ladies, that could deliver some rain. We've penciled in a 20 to 30% chance of showers and storms.
Okay, thanks for the heads. So glad everybody submitted photos because I slept right through this on a Friday. I'm Rita Garcia. Welcome to it.
And I'm Samica Knight. I don't even know. Could we have seen it?
Well, Jaime Garcia's local.
I think he was in like Willis or something.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But they're beautiful.
So
pictures.
not downtown.
They're
all right.
beautiful. Right,
Got it.
Right. They're beautiful pictures, though, nonetheless. Meteorologist Elita Loresca here to talk about it. They are beautiful pictures.
Yes, beautiful pictures. Keep them coming. If you can't get a sight of...
You're updating breaking news. Officials in Deer Park say the air is safe.
It's after I do have two reporters this morning on the story. We begin with Courtney Carpenter. She's live in Deer Park. Courtney, emergency...
Thank you so much, Courtney. And this is actually the second scare for people in Deer Park in less than 4 weeks. A pipeline fire last month burned for 4 days. ABC 13's Charly Edsitty is live in Deer Park, where the shelter in place has been lifted. Boy, some people are probably exhausted from all this, Charly.
Oh, absolutely, Samica. I mean, we've been talking to people out and about early this morning, and they basically say that, you know, this is what comes with living in this community. And so we're in Deer Park this morning. We're right off of Center Street, just a few blocks down from Highway 225. And so earlier this morning, there was a light chemical smell in the air, but that has since gone away. And as you mentioned, that shelter-in-place order has been lifted for Deer Park. Yes, you just heard there. I mean, many people kind of recalling all the different situations where shelter-in-place orders have been issued in this area. So this morning, we are reaching out to both Pasadena and Deer Park, trying to get some more clarity into what exactly happened with their emergency alert systems. So, of course, we'll keep you updated. We're live from Deer Park this morning. Charly Edsitty, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
Well, thank you for those updates. Thank you, Charly. We did check into Pemex's environmental record with the EPA.
Good morning, I'm Charly. Edsitty also live in Deer Park this morning, and residents here as well as over in Pasadena are questioning why they did not receive any kind of with Pasadena to see if they were having any issues yesterday. So of course we'll keep you updated. Charly Edsitty, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
On GMA.
Lucky you. That's something we're going to look forward to. Whit, thank you. Let's say your weather.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
All right, we have so much more coming up.